Page 71, The Princess Dances. This is a little piece where we get some experience at bringing out the left hand. The melody's in the left hand. That's what we want to hear. That's what the right hand is just these little chord accompaniment. So you keep those soft under the melody all the way through. Now they're giving you the dynamics at the beginning of this, an MF for the left hand and a P for the right hand. Again, I disagree, because all you need is the MF. You're supposed to know to bring out the melody. So play the melody MF and play everything else under it. Now how soft is up to you, but just make sure you hear the melody, okay? Now you have that hairpin, that crescendo, so you're going to get a little louder. Well, with a piano, you can't do that on a single note, because once you play the note, it can only get softer, it dies away. So we give the illusion of it getting louder by making the left hand, or making the accompaniment get louder. So each of these chords will be a little louder. And that gives the illusion that the melody is getting louder. Like so. Takes a little practice, but you get the idea. Same thing in the third line down. Their fingering is fine. I have one small suggestion in the left hand, and that is, take a look at the first line. On all these notes they've got, you have an E, a G in the next measure, a B in the third measure, and an E for the last measure. That's a chord. That is an E minor chord. This happens to be in the key of E minor. Imagine that. The fingering, put the fourth on the G, not the third. Okay, so change on the second measure, it's 4 on G. You get the same thing on the third line down. That's the only change I would suggest. The rest of it is fine. Now, the pedaling. Let's talk about this pedaling. What they're doing is they're bringing the pedal down with the second beat. So when you play the notes in the right hand, the chord, you bring the pedal down at that time. So the first beat, it's sounding the melodies by itself. So you're here. Throughout, okay? Sort of. I would suggest you do it throughout. The last two measures of the second line, look at that. They have a 2 by itself. Bring the pedal down on the second beat. And then there's suggesting legato. Now, I like to hear a break in the phrasing. Well, the pedaling isn't letting you do that. At the end of the second line, I would bring the pedal up before I play the first note in the third line, because it's a new phrase. So if I do the last two measures of the second line, it's here. And then I would bring it up. Actually, I'd bring the pedal up with the hands at the end of the second line, because the hands, both hands are moving. So just bring the pedal up with the hands. It makes it that little easier. Huh? And then you can continue on. At the end of the third line, you bring the pedal up with the fingers, so it's an end of a phrase, and you start at last line is a new phrase, so it's here. Even though you use the same finger in the left hand, it's still a new phrase. At the last measure, I would put the pedal down right after I play the chord in the right hand. And you lift the pedal and the hands up on beat 3. Alright, that ends it. So with all that, let's try this out together and see what happens. Right hand is here on the chords, and the left hand is here. And don't let these chords scare you. It's just an E minor chord, and it's inversions. We've been through this chord inversion stuff before. If you can get all that sort of thing, it really helps to simplify the music. Alright, right hand, left hand, foot's on the pedal. I'll give us 3 counts and we'll play it together slowly. 1, ready, go. Off. I don't know if there's a recording of this or not. I'll give you an idea what I think it might sound like.